Breaking news coming in fact, coming in from the world of cricket. What we're getting you right now is that Sachin Tendulkar has announced his retirement from cricket. Well, this is the big breaking news we're getting you right now. Remember, so much controversy about whether or not he should be hanging up his boots. That's finally now been put to a rest. Master Blaster Sachin Tendulkar coming out and announcing his retirement. A big illustrious career that the Master Blasters had, but there had been of late many people, many cricket experts coming out and opining that perhaps it was high time that Sachin Tendulkar came up and hung his boots because of the fact that he was simply not being able to deliver. Let's get in more from our Mumbai correspondent Rasesh Mandani, who's breaking this news to us. Rasesh, this is going to create reverberations in the world of cricket. Let's get you this. Let's get our viewers this. He's retired from ODI. Just break down the details of what you're picking up right now.
Yes, I think this is one of the biggest news in Indian cricket. For a man who's been serving Indian cricket for the past 23 years, has decided to call it quits. He did not do so at the end of the 2011 World Cup. Waited for a couple of years, and the time he's decided to call it quits. I'll read out the statement that Sachin Tendulkar has issued to the BCCI. I have decided to retire from the one-day format of the game. I feel blessed to have fulfilled the dream of being part of a World Cup winning Indian team. The preparatory process to defend the World Cup in 2015 should begin early in its right earnest. I'd like to wish the team all the very best for the future. I'm eternally grateful to all my well-wishers for their unconditional support and now over the years. So this is the statement that Sachin Tendulkar has issued to the BCCI on his own, making this decision to not play the one-day game anymore. That means the upcoming Pakistan series will not feature Sachin Tendulkar anymore, and any more one-day cricket that India will feature will not have that name, Sachin Tendulkar, on it. He's been opening cricket for such a long time. It remains to be seen, in the lead up to this decision, how the decision was transpired at. Because remember, initially, people close to Sachin were speaking about the fact that he wanted to continue playing one day to keep himself active for Test match cricket. The fact that he hasn't retired from Test match cricket means that he still wants to give it a go. He doesn't want to give cricket away as such. So in that sense, it would be a challenge for Sachin as well to continue playing only one format of the game, to keep himself fit. That has been one of the challenges. But, undoubtedly, this is one of the biggest news for Indian cricket at this point in time. Tendulkar deciding to call it quits a year and a half after India won the 2011 World Cup, and after which India's performance in one-day cricket has been dismal, and Sachin hasn't been able to contribute.
Rasesh, stay on with us. Let's also get in our editor sports, Gaurav Gala, who will now deconstruct this big story that we're getting our viewers right now. Gaurav, how big is this decision coming forward from Sachin Tendulkar? We've seen the rising clamour for him to come out and hanging up his boots. He chooses to do it for the ODI. What's your assessment? How would you deconstruct the story for us?
End of an era is how I'd call it, Nida. To see an Indian one-day side minus Sachin Tendulkar when he himself hasn't decided to opt out is going to be strange. When you know that Sachin Tendulkar is not available in this particular format of the game anymore, it's absolutely massive for Indian cricket. But there have been signs, given the fact that after the World Cup win, Sachin Tendulkar has not played in as many as 5 one-day series for India since 2011. He's only played in 2 out of the 7 one-day series that India has played in since the 2011 World Cup triumph. He hasn't taken part in 5 of them. So it's not like he's been playing a lot of one-day cricket for India. He's only played in the Asia Cup and he played in the Tri-Series in Australia. And in both of those tournaments, he got runs against the weaker opponents in Bangladesh. And in Australia, he failed miserably. He had an average of under 22. So that, of course, is not keeping in line with his lofty standards. But as far as now coming out and making this statement, given the kind of huge pressure that he's been under to perform of late, given the debates, the discussions that have gone on around his career, for him to come out and say that I'm hanging up my boots in one-day cricket, an absolutely massive development in Indian cricket. And the way I see it, it's the end of an era, because here's a man who has enthralled billions all over the world, not just Indian cricket fans, Nida, but fans from all over the world, of all nationalities. And it's going to be a sad day for one-day cricket. It's going to be a sad day for Indian cricket. Somebody of the stature of Sachin Tendulkar falling time on his one-day career. But, the one thing that gladdens me is the fact that he's at least won the World Cup that he so craved, is now only befitting that the fact that he's actually won the World Cup, and after that he's called it quits.
Gaurav, the thing also is, just like Rasesh was mentioning, let me take off from that point. We're talking about an important series with Pakistan coming up. Another question that springs to mind is about the timing of this decision.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The timing, Nida, has caught all of us off guard. A lot of legends of cricket, not just from India, but other countries as well, have come out and said already that the ideal time for Sachin to have retired from one-day cricket, if not all forms of cricket, would have been after the World Cup win in 2011. It happened at the Wankhede Stadium. It happened in his home city of Mumbai. And for him to have won the World Cup there would have been just the absolute perfect moment. Somebody like Imran Khan, when he won the World Cup in Australia, he called it quits after winning the World Cup, although he had retired once earlier as well and then come back, or was persuaded to come back. But in this particular case, the fact that he's retired at this point in time has caught a lot of people unexpected, myself included, and the entire channel, I'm sure, because the timing is such. You've got Pakistan who have already arrived. They arrived yesterday. And the talk was, and the indications that we were getting, Nida, was that he wanted to use the series against Pakistan and the series against England to tune up for the test series against Australia. The fact that he's only announced his ODI retirement means that he is going to be still playing test cricket. But does that mean that he's going to actively play Ranji cricket or just practice on his own? That is something that we're going to see in the days, weeks, months ahead.
Gaurav, just stay on with us. We've also got our in-house cricket expert, Nikhil Chopra, now joining us on this big news that we're getting our viewers right now. Sachin Tendulkar, Master Blaster Sachin Tendulkar, coming out and announcing his retirement from the ODI format. Nikhil, pretty much stunned are you, like the rest of us are?
And a couple of days ago, we were sitting on our own channel, and we were talking about Tendulkar, taking one-day series prior to the Australia Test series. As, playing competitive form, and we were all hoping that he could get some runs in this limited overs format, and then, against Australia, get going, all guns blazing. But I guess, A, he stunned us all. So B, I guess he's realized and said, well, he's got to look ahead for the team's benefit. Even if he plays these 7-8 one-days that have to be held this year between Pakistan and England, where does it take him after that? So I guess he's realized that, it's important that the team starts thinking, the selectors start thinking beyond Sachin Tendulkar. It's not going to be easy, the shoes that need to be filled, but I guess he wants to give youngsters an opportunity in our own backyard so that they can get some runs under their belt, grow in confidence, and then look to take on the world. Because it's a different thing when a youngster debuts or plays his initial couple of games at home, gets runs, or if he debuts straight away in overseas conditions, that makes it more difficult. So it's a sort of decision for the benefit of the team. That's what I think.
Okay, in fact, even as you speak to us, Nikhil, we have been getting our viewers visuals of that letter that has been sent across, the letter that's gone from Sachin Tendulkar to the BCCI, coming out and saying that he would like to retire from the ODI format. Gaurav, coming back to you now, obviously he's retired from the ODI format, just like we're telling our viewers right now. The test part is still a part of him, something that he actively would like to be a part of. But this is something, again, I think that's going to draw criticism from some quarters at least. The fact that we have been talking about poor form, but the man says that I still want to be part of this.
That's right, and one of the main criticisms has been that Sachin Tendulkar has not been performing up to his usually high standards, and the fact that his prolonged poor run has stretched for a very, very long time now, and that is something that has seen the critics go after Sachin Tendulkar. But a lot of people on the other hand have come out and said, look, Sachin Tendulkar is the god of cricket. He is somebody who has, enthralled audiences all over the world, fans, supporters all over the world for 23 long years. He's now into his 24th year, and he should be going out on his own terms. The records that he holds, the sheer number of runs, the weightage of his performances over the years, and what he means to cricket. I am still very surprised at the fact that given the huge series against Pakistan that's going to start in a couple of days' time, then you've got England one-dayers, and then you've got Australia. These are three of the top sides in the world, barring South Africa. And, for Sachin not to be playing in these series, it's going to be a little strange for all of us. And I think the critics are going to latch on to that as well. I think the fact that over the last year or 2 years, we've seen the critics go after Sachin the way they have. I think they're not going to stop at this. The fact that he's continued to play.
Nothing's ever going to keep them happy, is it, Gaurav? Gaurav, Rasesh, Nikhil, I'm coming back to you in another bit in just a couple of seconds because we're getting another voice in on this big breaking news. We're getting our viewers here on Headlines today. Sanjay Jha of Hamara Congress now on the phone line with us. Sanjay, just like I was asking our sports editor Gaurav, Gaurav, of course, taking us to the fact that it's a decision that stunned pretty much all of us. The big factor is about the timing. Just like Gaurav was telling us, big series that are lined up in the near future. How are you reading into this announcement?
Well, I mean, there was a lot of speculation that, he's thrown his hat in the ring again for the Pakistan and the series against England. And I think he wanted to send out clear clarification that he was not in the running. Maybe the selectors have had a chat with him as well. It's possible because the team is to be announced either today or tomorrow. And they might have taken a call and told him that, listen, based on your current form, should the Indian team really risk Tendulkar in a very, it's going to be obviously a very tense situation with Pakistan, it usually is. And whether it's fair on the other youngsters waiting around the wing. Tendulkar's made a very, very wise decision. I don't know whether the selectors have spoken to him or not, but whether it's the selectors or whether he has done it voluntarily on his own, it's a step forward because Tendulkar still can, and he's sending out a message that he's ready for the Australia Test series, and I think I would like him to be considered for that and take it from there on. But with the one-day cricket, I think a lot of us felt that we could have been at the high of the World Cup win. But, those two other leagues were also a little cricketer in the one-day format. And maybe this is the right time for the call. But I can tell you that this is good news for anyone who's expected. For a lot of one-day cricket and Tendulkar were almost symbolic. They went hand in hand. There's complete synchronicity. And I think this country and all of us Indians are going to miss him, I think, in absolutely indescribable way. Because he was a genius in one-day cricket. And I don't think anybody can match him in either temperament, skill, or his record that he's achieved over the last several years.